Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're tackling copywriting, but not the usual stuff. We're going to see how this guy, Mason, only 21 years old, made $2.3 million.
Yeah.
Billion, with an M, all from copywriting. So we'll break down how he did it, and more importantly, how you can use those same secrets for your own goals.
You know what's really fascinating about this? It's more than just writing good ads or whatever. This shows how much the world of work is changing. Like, Mason didn't go to college, didn't climb the corporate ladder. He just had this skill and made it work.
Exactly. He totally went his own way. And we're getting all this from a YouTube video. It's on the channel Grind Success. Mason really lays it all out. But before we get too deep, maybe we should take a step back. Like, what even IS copywriting? I mean, we hear it everywhere. But what does it actually mean?
Yeah, good point. It's not JST writing. It's writing with a specific purpose. Think about the last time you bought something online, or signed up for some email list, or even just clicked on an ad. Chances are some really good copywriting got you there. It's using words to make people do something.
So like psychology, but with words.
Exactly. And it's literally everywhere these days. Websites, emails, all over social media, even just describing a product. Copywriting makes so much of marketing work.
And this is still a hot skill, even with AI coming up.
Oh, absolutely. Even more valuable, I'd say. AI can spit out words, but it doesn't get people. A good copywriter understands how we think, what makes us tick.
So AI can write a boring product description, but it can't make you feel something and actually buy.
You got it. Think about it. To write really good copy, you got to know your audience inside and out. What do they want? What are they afraid of? And you answer those questions before they even ask them.
Okay, so copywriting equals valuable skill check. But back to Mason. How did he even start? Did he know people, have some mentor, or was he secretly rich already?
Nope, none of that. He basically hustled his way up. The video says he'd go on Instagram, look for businesses running ads. He'd research them, figure out their marketing, then send them an email like, hey, I can do that better.
Wow, so he just went for it.
Yeah.
No fancy degree, no connections, just pure hustle.
And it paid off big time. His first client was this fitness coach, paid him $2,500 per month. That's way more than packing boxes.
Talk about a confidence boost. Landing a client like that right away shows you sometimes you just got to take the leap.
And it proves something we talk about a lot. Find a skill that's worth something, then figure out how to sell it. For Mason, it was copywriting, but it could be anything.
Okay, so he gets this amazing client. But how did he even know how to write good copy? Was he just born with it?
He definitely had some talent, but the video really stresses practice, practice, practice. Mason didn't just write once in a while. He went all in like it was his whole life.
Sounds intense.
He'd study ads that worked, figure out why they worked, then try to do the same thing in his own writing. He focused on writing fast and being creative, always pushing himself to get better.
That all-in thing is interesting. Like, how can our listeners use that for other skills?
It's all about surrounding yourself with what you want to learn. For Mason, it was copywriting every day, studying the best in the business, analyzing campaigns. But it works for anything languages, coding, design. Immerse yourself in it completely.
So not just reading about it, but actually doing it.
Yes. The more you do, the better you get. Mason says a lot of people overthink it. They get stuck trying to be perfect and never start writing.
So his advice is just write, even if it's bad at first.
Exactly. Just like anything else, the more you do, the better you get.
Okay, so we've got his hustle and his dedication to the craft.
But he didn't stop at freelancing, did he? The video talks about how he took things to a whole new level.
Right, he realized freelancing was good, but it had limits. He was trading time for money, and there's only so much time.
Which brings us to the next big step, going from freelancer to running a whole agency.
And that's when things really exploded. He went from like $48,000 a month freelancing to building a six-figure agency by getting a team and working with bigger brands.
So instead of working in his business, he started working on his business. Exactly, and that's where leverage comes in. By building a team, he could do more clients take on bigger projects. And the business wasn't just him anymore.
It's like he made copies of himself, but better. That's so smart. Like a whole team of copywriting ninjas.
Yeah, I like that. And it shows how your thinking has to change as your business grows. You can't just be the lone wolf forever. Mason saw that to really grow, he needed to build a system, something that could run without him constantly being there.
So instead of writing every ad himself, he's now leading a team, coming up with the big ideas and managing clients. That's a whole different skill set, right?
Absolutely. It's the classic entrepreneur story. Start by doing everything yourself, then you learn how to lead and let other people help you make your vision a reality.
And the video actually shows us a day in his life now. And gotta say, it sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Wake up at 9 a.m., Start with some writing to get the creativity flowing, then networking, social media stuff, creating content.
Yeah.
It's a long way from those packing boxes.
Now, hold on, I'm going to push back a little bit. It might sound all fun and games, but I think we got to recognize the work and planning that goes into a routine like that. It's not just about waking up late and being creative.
You're right. I was getting caught up in that whole work from anywhere fantasy.
I get it, but successful entrepreneurs are intentional with their time. Notice how Mason focuses on things he's good at and enjoys. He makes time for writing his core skill, but also networking and making content, which helps his business grow. And let's not forget all the less glamorous stuff, like finances, dealing with clients, and keeping up with the market.
Yeah, good point. It's easy to romanticize the entrepreneur life,
Yeah,
but really it's a ton of work. You got to be disciplined and wear a lot of hats.
for sure. And it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
What works for Mason might not work for someone else. The key is finding a routine that helps you be productive, have a life outside of work, and stay focused on your goals.
So it's not about copying what Mason does, but understanding why he does it. And then figuring out what works for your personality and style.
Exactly. And speaking of understanding the why, the video has some great advice from Mason for anyone who wants to be a copywriter, or really just anyone who wants to succeed.
Okay, lay it on us. What are Mason's secrets?
3 things. Don't procrastinate, take risks, and learn from your mistakes.
Sounds like pretty solid advice for anything, really. Like in any field, you got to take action, face challenges, and turn your failures into lessons.
Exactly. He says don't wait till you feel 100% ready. Just start writing, creating, building, whatever it is.
I feel that I know I get stuck overthinking things. Sometimes I let perfectionism stop me from starting.
It happens to a lot of us. But like Mason says, doing something is the cure for fear and doubt. The more you do, the more you learn, the more you grow.
He also talks about building relationships with clients, not just doing one project and moving on.
That's so important. And it's something we always say, building a real business is about steady income, not just random gigs.
So it's like having loyal fans. You want clients who love your work and keep coming back for more.
You got it. And that comes from consistently giving them amazing work, going above and beyond, and building real relationships.
It sounds like he's saying business is more than just making money. It's about trust and loyalty.
Right. It's not just being a good copywriter. It's being good at business. Understanding what your clients need, seeing their problems before they do, and giving them solutions that go beyond just words on a page.
Makes me wonder, though, with all this talk about agencies and scaling up, is Mason's advice still good for someone who's just starting as a freelancer?
Absolutely. In fact, it's even more important for freelancers, I think.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because when you're freelancing, you are the business. It's
Right.
all on you finding clients, managing your time, doing great work, and building your name.
Because you got to be even more proactive and strategic.
You nailed it. And all the stuff we talked about, taking action, building relationships, exceeding expectations, that's all crucial for freelancing success.
So whether you're aiming for a huge agency or just starting out,
Right.
the basics are the same.
Exactly. And that's why Mason's story is so awesome and inspiring. He proves you don't need some fancy degree or tons of connections to make it. You need hustle, a desire to learn, and a commitment to being really good at what you do.
It's wild, right? This guy starts packing boxes and ends up building this copywriting empire. Really makes you rethink the whole career path thing.
Totally. And it speaks to this idea that's getting bigger, especially with younger people. Like, success doesn't have to be a 9-to-5 job. It's not about climbing some corporate ladder anymore.
Yeah, it's like job security means something different now. The best security is having skills, being able to adapt.
Yeah.
And knowing how to make your own opportunities.
And Mason is the perfect example of that. He saw what the market needed, learned how to do it, and just went for it, no fear. And look where he ended up.
What's so inspiring is it feels like anyone could do it. He didn't have some unfair advantage or anything, just worked hard, learned from his mistakes, and built something amazing.
And that's a powerful message for everyone listening. You don't need a rich family or a fancy degree to be successful. What you need is the drive to learn, the dedication to be great, and the guts to actually take action.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on Mason's story, what's the one thing you want people to walk away with? That piece of advice they can use no matter what their goals are.
If there's one thing I hope sticks with people, it's this. The world is full of opportunities, but you got to look at things differently. Be willing to try things that aren't the normal path. Mason proves that success often comes from doing your own thing.
Love that. Be a trailblazer, not a follower.
Exactly. And it all starts with one question. What do you have that's special? What skills, talents, passions can you use to make something valuable? Maybe at IS writing like Mason, maybe it's something totally different. The point is to find your strengths and use them in new ways.
So instead of asking, what job can I get?
Mm.
We should be asking, what problem can I solve?
Yeah.
Or what can I create that people will want?
Exactly. And once you find that value, you build your skills, your network, and you get yourself out there.
It's about taking charge, not waiting for things to happen.
And remember, it's not a race, it's a journey. There will be tough times, mistakes, moments of doubt. But like we saw with Mason, what gets you through is persistence. It's bouncing back and believing in yourself.
So to everyone listening, take Mason's story to heart. Think outside the box. Find your strengths, sharpen your skills, and go make something awesome. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing those boundaries.